This episode is brought to you by Bureau, our title sponsor. With 8 vibrant locations in Miami's best neighborhoods, Bureau is the perfect co-working place to work, network, and thrive alongside other entrepreneurs, creatives, professionals, and local businesses. Find your space at bureaumiami.com. We're in Bureau Central right now with David Whitaker, who's the president and CEO of the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Speaking of Bureau.
Speaking of Bureau. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for joining us. Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. You know how to induce a meeting on a Friday afternoon?
Cheers. Well, it's absolutely happy hour.
Yeah. We're drinking a little scotch Friday, 4:10ish. And this bottle came from one of our former guests, Felix Bendersky. He's got his own little reserve brand that he brings in.
Wow.
And David suggested we put a touch of ginger ale in there. So it's delicious.
What do you think?
It's a great call.
Yeah, it's solid.
I like it.
Good.
So thank you and welcome.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. No, I really love what you guys are doing. I did a little research. You've been wonderful to just even invite me here, your hospitality, and just love what you're doing. So anything I can do to help tell the Miami story, I'm here.
Yeah, awesome. And we got to give a shout out to Lyle Stern. We got a little air horn there that we can bust out.
I don't think so.
No?
I gotta reinstate the air horn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Lyle Stern is with the hookup again. Lyle's been a wonderful, just gentleman, and he opens a lot of doors for us. So thank you, Lyle, for connecting the dots again.
Well, I'll mention him in some of my anticipated answers only because Lincoln Road is a great example of what some of this is all about.
Yeah. And speaking of Lincoln Road, I was there yesterday for a surprise birthday party. I arrived 2 days before the surprise birthday
2 days
party.
early.
So I got to check out Lincoln Road. Happy birthday to Chris.
Well, it's funny. I just came from Lincoln. I just came from Lincoln Road, literally.
Yeah.
Because I had of all things, I have to do this in my job. I had a ribbon cutting at the Miami Beach Convention Center, and it was for the opening day of the auto show.
Oh, okay.
So what I do when I go to the convention center, any chance I get, I reward myself. I've been doing this since college, and I rewarded myself, and I went and bought a shirt at Penguin.
Oh, yeah?
Which I have there in that bag. Don't let me forget that bag. But I literally ran over to Lincoln Road and grabbed a shirt.
Yeah.
Just because that's my reward for a Friday afternoon.
Good. And the scotch is a reward too, right?
So but at Lincoln Road, and it's a great example of, somebody at a meeting, a business event, and there's a retail opportunity. Boom, you go in and get something you need.
Yep. Yeah, Lincoln Road, to be honest, I think it was the first time I've been on Lincoln Road. Like, we ended up having a beer there.
How was it feeling? Was it pretty ghosty? Or
No,
was
it feels like, listen, I was on the easternmost end.
Yeah.
And that's usually kind of I think more dead end.
Really? I think it's more lively now. West End is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like they're taking out the movie theater now.
Yeah.
Where that Brazilian artist did the streetscape. You know what I'm talking about? Most of that retail's gone.
Yeah, I didn't go to the West End, but it felt alive.
See, I'm in tourism marketing. It's not gone. It's paused.
Oh, it's paused.
I like that.
We got a little over our skis on the asking prices for a while, so now we have to wait.
It's paused. It's not gone.
No, nothing's gone. I mean, that's like during COVID when people are like, New York's gone. It's over. It's like, come on, guys. It's New York.
Well, just think about some of your listeners who are older, like me. How many times you've read or heard that, South Beach is dying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? In the last 30 years, South Beach has died 15 times.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything comes in waves.
Yeah.
Everything comes in waves. Literally everything.
Yeah.
So David, I don't know if you know, but we like to start way back with our guests. So where were you born?
So if you like to cook, or your companions like to cook, I love the Vidalia onion is one of the staples in a lot of people's kitchens. It's a sweet onion. It's the only sweet onion. Most onions are bitter. You can eat a Vidalia onion like an apple.
My grandpa used to.
And it's a great saute for anything. And the reason I'm saying all that is I am from Vidalia, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Home of the Vidalia onion. It's the Napa Valley of Onions.
They're probably very proud of it there.
Yeah, can you tell? And
well, I grew up in Minnesota. Whenever there's something like that, we got the biggest stalk of corn. And we're not going to let anyone forget it.
So it's the only thing that there is. It's the Napa Valley of Onions. Everybody's on an onion farm. I grew up on an onion farm. And great pride in that community. But now, if you're from there, it's Vidalia, Georgia.
Vidalia. Where is that? Where's Vidalia?
It's about 60 miles just southwest of Savannah.
Okay.
Savannah was our big,
Big city.
Going to the movies, go to Savannah.
One of my favorite cities, by the way.
I love
Savannah.
Savannah.
What
I
an
love
amazing
Savannah.
city.
An hour away, right? 60 miles.
60 miles,
Hour and
yeah.
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
That math doesn't work in Miami, by the way.
Well, it's funny. In my youth, the speed limit was 55 miles
Right,
an hour.
same.
Now it's 70 miles an hour. Everything's changed.
Oh,
today,
really?
right? Yeah.
They up the highways over there too?
Yeah.
Oh.
But 50 miles an hour was slow. But
So maybe like a 50-minute drive now.
So, what were your parents doing in Vidalia, Georgia?
Farming onions, it sounds like.
yeah, no, my father, World War II veteran, came back and from Savannah. That's where he was born. My grandmother, our generations from Savannah. Whitaker, kind of a British name, came over on the first ships. Believe it or not, Savannah is a huge port back in the day,
Yeah.
and it was an Irish outpost. In fact, I work for the tourism board here. I sound like I'm promoting Savannah.
We'll get to
Visit
Miami.
savannah.com. But it is, in fact, it has one of the largest St. Patrick's Day festivals every year because there's just a huge Irish
Savannah or Vidalia?
Savannah.
Okay.
There's nothing in Savannah. There's nothing in Vidalia other than onions.
Right.
There's nothing, literally.
I don't know if there were a bunch of Irish there too.
You know how you watch the grass grow? We watched the onions grow.
Yeah.
It's painfully slow.
I know how it goes very well.
And so your dad was a World War II vet, moved there. What did he do?
Got his own little plot of land
Oh,
and
really?
had a Vidalia onion
Oh,
farm.
wow.
That's
And
how he
mom?
gets working the farm.
Oh, wow.
Youngest of seven, a
Yeah.
farmer, but you got to have seven
Yeah.
farm hands, quite frankly.
Yeah.
You're the youngest of 7?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, by the way, when the fifth left home after graduating, I told the dad, the boss, there used to be 7 of us. Now there's 2 of us. This work distribution thing needs to be revisited.
For the compensation, right?
That's funny. So,
What's an onion farm like? What does the onion plant look like? I don't know if I've seen them.
Well, I mean, it
grows underground,
Grows
right?
underground.
But-
It looks just kind of like a green stalk.
Yeah.
Okay.
You plug and you pull it out of the ground.
Is there a lot of manual labor with that, or you got tractors?
It comes
for that?
in waves, like the planting season,
Right.
huge effort, and then the pulling it out of the ground season.
Right.
In between,
You're
pretty
chilling,
slow.
watching it grow.
and it's grown in the summer, I imagine, right? You plant in the spring,
Late
and
summer.
late summer,
And fall is the big
the harvest.
harvest.
Gotcha.
So you had the full farm upbringing.
How many acres of land you guys have?
It's a hard answer because it changed because it's a co-op,
Uh huh.
and so different families and owners shared plots of land, but a moving number is probably like 100.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a relatively large plantation.
Plantate,
Okay.
careful.
Yeah. Careful.
Exactly.
Farm.
And how long did you live there your whole childhood? You grew up on
Grew
the
up
farm?
there until high school.
Wow.
No, kind of blessed to because here I am now, but blessed to get away by going off to college. I was the only member of my family to go to college. I was a scholarship recipient. I'm very proud of that. Went to the University of South Florida. Go Bulls!
Go Bulls.
Just recent victors of the University of Florida.
Yeah,
So
beat
that's our
Gainesville. I'd like to see that.
We've never had anything like that before.
They stormed the field.
Yeah, well, once in 40 years. And I thought Tampa was the biggest city in the world when I got there. I mean, it had some pretty tall buildings, and Tampa's Tampa. They had a football team. The Buccaneers were just beginning.
And you got a scholarship, so you were a good student.
I was blessed. I really was.
What subjects did you like?
Let's come back for the next podcast.
Yeah. No, we want to talk about it.
No, Mark, communication. I think I got a scholarship because I was in and this is how the world is. I was the MC of a talent show, our Miss High School talent show. And one of the judges was a professor who happened to be there because of a family relationship, but he was a professor at University of South Florida.
Uh-huh.
And I was so clever and good and funny and charming as the MC of Bob Barker of our high school contest.
Yeah.
He pulled me aside afterwards, and I applied for some things and got a marketing communications
awesome.
scholarship, right?
So what subjects did you like in high school, though?
Football.
Football? You were a football player?
And by the way, 7-man football. That's
Yeah.
how small there are 7-man football teams all over the country.
Oh, yeah?
Smaller schools that can't field,
Yeah.
quite literally can't field 22 players, 11
Yeah.
and 11.
How many kids were in your elementary classes? Like 30 kids? 20?
32.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Wow.
A shout out to Mary Faye Smith, if she's listening.
Yeah.
My 6th grade crush.
Yeah.
I don't think she's listening.
Maybe not from Vidalia.
Mary Faye, I miss you. That's predicated on my wife's probably not listening
Yeah.
either.
Hopefully she's not listening. All right. So you're a farm boy. You were working the farm in high school. You have any other jobs in high school, or just farm boy?
Pumping gas at a gas station on the interstate. Saw the world go by.
Yeah.
No self-service.
Off of 95?
75.
Off 75.
Yeah. Saw the world go by.
Mm-hmm.
And said, one day I'm going to go see that world.
Yeah.
People coming from Michigan, Pennsylvania, all heading to Orlando, of course.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And but it really was great to see the world go by.
Yeah.
I'd say one day I'm going to get on that highway.
Get out of Vidalia.
Now that you've seen I don't know how much you've traveled, but now that you've been in the big city and had the experience, do you have the desire to go back to the farm?
A similar, the Atlantic coast of Georgia, the Carolinas, is beautiful and simple life, right?
Yeah.
I'm also actually work for the Montana Tourism Board.
Oh, really?
My real fantasy is to have a little farmhouse in Montana.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah. Well, let's talk.
I do. No, it's funny.
You might be able to give me a good deal. You're an expert.
I can relate because growing up in the country, I grew up in the country too. My dad was a dairy farmer. And as a country kid, you want to go see the world. You're like, this sucks. Like, all these people are dumb. Everyone just gets drunk every weekend. Like, everyone's like marrying their sister when they're 19. Like, I got to get out of here. And then you go see the world and the chaos of the big cities. I've lived in Chicago, LA, here. I've traveled all over the world. And now I'm like, all right, I think I'm ready for the mountains. Like, I'm ready for everyone to go away. But also, you got to balance that with the life we have here, which is pretty damn awesome, too. So I want both. That's the problem.
Well, it's funny, like a city like Vero Beach or Naples in the old days. Naples is really developed now, but Vero Beach, you can still get that kind of small town, beach town vibe, relatively close to a metropolitan area. Mm-hmm. I used to love early in my career here in Miami, I used to love to go to Naples. But now Naples has gotten so busy.
It's gotten big. Yeah, it's gotten big. So
Which is, by the way, my favorite marketing phrase that I use a lot, use it now. Yogi Berra, the famous New York Yankee catcher, was famous for his quotes. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. He had all kinds of great quotes. Yogi Berra said about his favorite restaurant in New York, nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded. And I use that as a marketing analogy, right? And Naples is like that. Oh, nobody goes to Naples anymore. It's too crowded.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Makes sense.
And Miami has dealt with that. Ocean Drive has. South Beach has dealt with that. That whole notion of everybody wants to find the off the hidden beat, the new. And that's that's how Lincoln Road started. That's how Wynwood started. That's how Allapattah is today. Everybody wants that new off the beaten path.
Yep.
And then when everybody goes there, it's not
cool anymore.
Yeah, like Wynwood, it's not that edgy anymore. You can't get stabbed at night, so now we're like, we got to go find somewhere else that's more stabby.
We're moving to Allapattah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's on that frontier.
Exactly. It's got to be a little sketch.
Yeah. I'm assuming the Wynwood Business Improvement District is not one of your advertisers.
No, not yet. Maybe they should get on and we'll stop bashing them.
We did have David Lombardi on here.
We did. So when you were going to school, when you went to college, did you have the idea that you wanted to be in marketing, or did you have any idea of what you wanted to do, or what made you pick communications?
It's funny, right? We're all influenced. I was miserable in the degree I was pursuing, and my roommate was in communications.
What were you miserable in?
Well, it's that whole theater. It was the theater. It was basically a theater degree, right?
Okay.
Because I was pretty good on stage at that high school. But I soon realized theater is not going to be my thing. But my roommate was a marketing communications, and I just loved the work he was doing. So as I was miserable at theater, I said, let me try this. And I switched majors, and took a liking to it.
So you switched, your sophomore year to?
Yeah, well, you don't kind of have to declare your first couple of years.
Yeah.
But really got into it, really loved it.
And so when you graduated, did you have any idea of where you wanted to go, what you wanted to do? What did you apply for? Like, how did that process go?
Again, we've all been there, especially, I'm sure almost all of your listeners, maybe even you. You graduate, nobody's hiring the vice president of marketing as a brand new graduate. You don't get those job offers coming out of college. And so I didn't. But I had to eat, quite frankly, pay bills. So my first job was Xerox. I sold Xerox copiers door to door. Great training, by the way, really great training.
Brian Gale did the same thing. Remember that?
Was it Xerox?
I think he was selling photocopiers.
That's funny.
And back then, Xerox was the behemoth. There was no Canon and Fuji.
Right.
It was just Xerox and IBM, right? So we had the Xerox Corporation was massive, and they really did have the marketplace. And so started selling copiers door to door in Sarasota, Florida, just outside of Tampa.
Wow.
And that was my first, 100% commission. You learn a lot.
Were you a good salesman?
Well, if you don't sell, you don't eat.
Right. Right.
But some months I would make $1,800, which back then was a lot of money. Some months I'd make $40.
Wow.
I'd come home. I was living with it wasn't Mary Faye, by the way. I left her behind, Vidalia. But I would come home to my roommate. She was still in college, and I'd say, tonight we're going to go to the beach and watch the sunset with a six-pack. And she'd say, well, I guess you didn't make a lot of money this week.
Hey, that sounds better to me. I'm in.
So how long did you sell copy machines for?
3 years.
Okay.
But then, again, with that degree, marketing desire, came to Miami by happenstance, because this is the big market of opportunity, and I landed a job with the United Way. And again, the United Way of Miami-Dade, just like most United Ways, really a kind of a who's who of community leadership. All the big corporations get involved. The board is really the who's who of the board. United Way does some amazing things, hundreds of different charities they support. I got to be the head of marketing because they don't pay well. No disrespect to United Way. Charities aren't going to pay.
Great title.
But great title. So you get that title when you're young.
That's awesome.
And I advanced after, there for 5 years. Did become the vice president of marketing.
What was your first impression of Miami when you came here?
Can I be totally honest? Because it's almost this may get some more listeners for you, or phone calls for me. My first weekend.
And what year did you come to Miami?
1985.
Is when you came to Miami.
Right. And think about Miami in 1985.
Oh, yeah. That's peak cocaine cowboys right there.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to Coconut Grove.
You went to the Mutiny.
That
was your first stop, wasn't it?
I went to the Mutiny.
I feel like every single one of our guests was at the Mutiny.
Yeah, dude. Why weren't we there? I mean, I was too busy just getting born, but
So there was this venerable place, Senior Frogs.
Oh, yeah.
The original.
Oh, man.
So went to this, my buddies from work. Hey, you're new. Come with us Friday night. I've been here a week. I'm still living in a motel. Go to Coconut Grove on a Friday night. Go to Senior Frogs. Enjoy too much, perhaps. Go to Mutiny. Man, what a scene.
I can imagine.
That's like that Star Wars bar. Every booth had something different going on, right? And the bathroom was even more entertaining.
I'm sure.
But so again, had a great time. Kind of wandering my way to my car on a side street in Coconut Grove, and I was mugged at gunpoint.
That sounds about right.
That was an easy mark. These two kids, all I had to do is probably just tap me and I'd fall over. But they mugged me at gunpoint. Took my wallet. My first Friday.
And you fell in love with the city after
So,
that.
by the way, the story gets
how
even
could you
better. The following week, I go to the Omni, the old Omni, glorious back then. That was ground central for the Omni, the big hotel, everything. Have a meeting because the United Way is going to do a banquet there, big fundraiser. I'm the marketing guy. Meet with the director of food and beverage at the Omni. Come out of the meeting, can't find my car. Go up 6 floors, down 6 floors, walk every floor. It's Friday afternoon, 4:30. I can't find my car. I must have
stolen.
Finally, it became related. I mean, it was revealed. My car was stolen.
Hey, Miami's just checking off all the boxes right
This
now.
is my second weekend in Miami.
It's a great place to live.
I had a Buick Regal.
That's amazing.
And in 1985, the Buick Regal was by far the most stolen car because all their parts were interchangeable with other Buick cars. And so my car was stolen.
Incredible.
The second weekend here.
Yeah. I don't know what it says about you.
And I remember calling my mom in Georgia. And, I don't think I told her everything. But I really kind of, after 2 weeks of being mugged at gunpoint and my car stolen, knowing the brand Miami was at the time, I'm like, maybe I made a mistake coming.
Such a farm kid story coming to a big city, just getting owned.
That is more or less when the Time Paradise Lost cover came out, right?
I could have been on the cover.
What year was that?
1985. Well, the cover of that came out, I think, in 89, possibly.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I'm telling you, I lived it, and I was like shocked. But look at, amazing. What a great story.
What made you stick around after all that?
Well, I was broke. You couldn't no car.
No car,
no wheels, no credit card,
no wallet.
Oh man! But working for a nonprofit.
But isn't it amazing that me, have the privilege of doing what I do, promoting the destination and all the great things we can promote and experience, the big events. And that was my beginning.
Yeah.
Unreal.
You're like, this place is hit rock bottom. There was only upside here in Miami right now.
By the way,
right?
speaking about hotels, someone needs to bring back the Mutiny. We got to bring back the glory of it, because it's kind of I haven't actually been in there, but it looks
a great
pretty
hotel.
Looks pretty boring from the outside.
Well, again, you're not the Mutiny is a partner of ours, so we love the Mutiny.
Okay, sorry, Mutiny.
No,
but come on, guys, we gotta pay an ode to the piles of cocaine that used to be on that table.
It's a great condo hotel, which is part of the business model. It's a condo hotel.
Oh, that's the problem. So we can't get that crazy.
You're not going to get that crazy
owners.
there, but it's a wonderful hotel, and they're well run.
Someone needs to just dump baby powder in the middle of these tables and just bring back the vibe.
I think my advice to you: stick to commercial real estate.
Ben, you know what they say in real estate, if people don't know you, they're not doing business with you.
Exactly. That's why the Built World podcast works with top-of-mind public relations, because being a best-kept secret sure doesn't pay the bills.
Paula Uspa-Abbott, the brains behind Top of Mind PR, is a former real estate journalist, so she knows exactly what makes the media pay attention.
And let's be real, getting in the press isn't just about bragging rights. It's about building credibility, landing deals, and making sure the right people know your name.
Whether it's top-tier media coverage, killer storytelling, or just making sure you're the one people think of first, Top of Mind PR has you covered.
Want to stand out? Hit up topofmind-pr.com or email info@topofmind-pr.com.
Because in real estate, if you're not visible, you're invisible. Ben, you and I are all about PropTech, and if there's one tool we absolutely cannot live without for our commercial real estate brokerage business, it's Vista.
Absolutely. Vista is incredible. We use it every single day, and we're always wondering, how do they do this? Every evening we get an email from them with real-time closed transactions. No more waiting around for months for the property appraiser to finally update.
Yeah, whether you're doing industrial, retail, office, land deals, they have every closed transaction. And it's not just the speed, Ben. The details are on point. Seller and buyer info, contact details, phone numbers, emails, everything is accurate.
It's hands down our top prospecting tool to farm for warehouse deals in Hialeah. Vista keeps us one step ahead always. It's also the best way to search for comps when putting together opinions of values for clients.
Head on over to Vista.com and use code BuiltWorld and get 30 days free access today. VIZZDA.com.
Unfortunately, I also have a hotel in Toronto, so,
I was there for
I saw that.
8 years. I was the president of the tourism board in Toronto.
You ever heard of a hotel called the Annex?
Sure.
That's one. That's I own that brand with a couple partners and the operation there.
Okay, let's go back up. I love Toronto.
Well, we got a room for you. You let me know. Yeah, anytime. Yeah, it's a fun project. So we're looking to bring that project down here too at some point. But back to you. So you got robbed at gunpoint. You're working for United Way. You worked for United Way for what, 5 years?
5 years.
Okay.
Almost 6. And the who's who board, that leadership board of all the community leaders, one of them was the county manager, Merritt Steerheim. God bless him, he passed last year. And a legendary county manager. And he had just decided to leave being county manager and became the president of this new organization called the Greater Miami Convention and Visitor Bureau. And in a board meeting, one day he pulled me aside and says, I'm going to be the new head of this convention bureau. Would you like to join my team? I like the work you're doing. We're building a new team. Would you join me? And I said, sure. And the rest is history. Wow.
So who came together to build the Greater Miami Convention?
It's a great example. It's happened around the community, the country. The Chamber of Commerce, sensing there were these needs, founded at the same time the Beacon Council, which is a wonderful organization, economic development, getting and inducing businesses to relocate here or expand here. And so the Beacon Council was formed as a nonprofit organization. At the same time, its sister or brother organization, the GMCVB, was formed.
So they were formed around the same time.
And a handful of community leaders. Some of your listeners may remember Sid Levin. He was a big leader with Florida Power and Light, who at the Florida Power and Light used to be the big corporate. They still are.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were the big corporate in Miami. And so community leaders, chamber leaders came together and said, we need a destination marketing vehicle. They created the taxation model where the resort tax was invented.
That's what I figured. That's what I said. They probably get funded through resort taxes. Yeah. What other sources of revenues fund you guys? Or is that it?
So we have two big sources. The county, so the state authorizes the tax as a law, and the county the hotels collect it, remit it to the county, with the exception of Miami Beach. They have their own resort tax. It's the same model.
Yeah.
They just collect it themselves as opposed to the county. And so we then have a contract with the county. We're not a county agency. Many people think we are, even though we're an extension of them and we kind of function as a nonprofit, public-private organization. But we have a contract with the county, and then we have a contract with the city of Miami Beach to do the marketing, promotion. And in the case of Miami Beach, it's also specifically to book the big meetings that are hosted at the Miami Beach Convention Center. That's our responsibility.
Gotcha. So do you get some funding from the convention center as well, or not really?
Not really. They have a contract. The private management company works for the city, has a contract with the city.
Gotcha.
We are great partners with the Miami Beach Convention Center for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And also, just for the record, Bal Harbor happens to collect its own tax. But the rest of it is countywide, and then that goes into a pot.
Is Bal Harbor paying you guys too, or no?
Yeah, it's
okay. Good. Just want to make sure those cheapskates up there are paying their fair share too.
Bal Harbor, as you know,
yeah.
What a success story! They live in a cocoon.
Yeah.
And they've created it to their credit. I mean, Bal Harbor shops, those buildings up there. Bal Harbor's pretty special.
Yeah.
It is. I think that walking path up there is, I mean, the path goes the whole way, but I love that section up there. It's pretty awesome.
I can't afford valet parking. So
I'm lucky. My wife's parents live on 96 and Collins at the Majestic.
Oh,
so I get to go use all the facilities, which is awesome.
No, but George Gonzalez, again, he was the former city manager of Miami Beach. He's now the Village of Bal Harbor manager. He's a great partner. He's on our board. And they have some great hotels up there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, again, that's a great example of a very focused niche. They're not looking for the family of 8 to come stay spend the weekend on the beach. They're pretty high value. Their average daily rate is pretty special.
Yeah. I mean, there's not that many hotels up there either, is there? It's
they got supply and demand. They got a great niche.
There's not a lot. The St. Regis is the new big one on the block.
St. Regis, Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah.
Really, though, but again, and there are pockets of that all over the country, but it's a great example of the high rollers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's beautiful.
You want entertainment, just sit at the valet, right?
Oh, yeah. It's a car show.
Watch the car show.
Oh,
Watch who gets out of those cars.
Yeah, for sure.
So the chamber basically created the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau as the marketing arm for Miami-Dade County, essentially, right. For the hospitality and
tourism promotion, destination promotion.
Okay.
And how do you guys market? Like, what are your main pushes?
Well, I'd love for your readers to go to miamiandmiamibeach.com because you'll see everything we do. And then it depends on whether you're here for a convention, you're here as a leisure visitor, you're here for a special event, and we market to all of those and promote those different ways in which people would come here. People come here for sporting events. In fact, next year is going to be one of the most consequential years we've ever had. We literally start... No, but we start January 3rd with the Winter Classic, an outdoor hockey match.
Oh, really?
It's going to be at Lone Depot Park.
I did not know that.
They've been able to, technology-wise, they can...
Is Lone Depot Park the Marlins Stadium?
It is.
I can't keep up with all these brands changing names.
But they're going to have an ice pad laid, and right before hockey puck drop, they'll open the stadium.
Really?
And the ice won't melt. They've tested it.
All right. Interesting.
And it's going to be the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers against the New York Rangers.
That's cool.
Nationally televised game.
Oh, that's cool.
New York's a great market for us for all kinds of audiences, including real estate, but also leisure tourism. We always know when there's a Jets, Giants, Knicks game because the arena's full of their fans, not our fans.
we love it when New Yorkers come here and spend their money.
Absolutely. Miamians are too bandwagony.
Yeah.
Well, the Mets are here tonight. The Mets are playing at the Marlins.
Oh, nice.
But half the stadium will be Mets fans.
Yeah, I believe it.
For sure. But so that game, the college football championship, NCAA football, Orange Bowl first as a quarterfinal match, then the National Football Championship game, which we host every 4 or 5 years. Then, of course, Formula One, the tennis, World Baseball Classic, the World Cup of Baseball. We had it 4 years ago. It's returning. And again, when Venezuela is playing the Dominican Republic, it's madhouse. Stadium's packed.
Yeah.
When Cuba played, Japan played the U.S. in the final, they were chartering planes from Japan.
Wow.
To watch Ohtani pitch in that game.
Amazing.
Then we have, of course, this little thing next summer called the FIFA World Cup. 7 matches, July 14th through June 14th through
Are you
July.
my guy to hook me up with some tickets on
Yes,
that?
yes. Unequivocally, yes.
Because my son is a footballer. He loves soccer, so we got the hook up now.
What's this brand? What's this called?
Bendersky.
Keep the Bendersky coming.
Yeah,
You got
all
tickets.
right.
You and your son.
You're looking empty there. You want another?
No, I'm good. I'm good. But even, the NASCAR championship race that had been at Homestead for years, had left, went to Phoenix. We've been able to secure that back. So working very closely with Guillermo and his team down there at Homestead Speedway. The championship race will be back. That final race of the season will be in Homestead in November. So it's going to be a great sports year next year. And all of those events attract, tens of thousands of tourists.
Absolutely. So you started at GMVB. What was your initial role there? It was...
And by the way, join the club. No one can say
GMVCB.
the Greater Miami.
You guys got to change the name. We got to do something about the name. The branding is...
By the way, here we are, these marketing geniuses, and we can't even
The longest name.
It's a mouthful.
Greater Miami, GMCVB.
Okay.
So my first job there was corporate communications, kind of an extension from what I was doing at United Way. And then just over the 17 years, because I was 8 when I started. You're like, how did you get
You look great.
How did you get your car stolen when you were 8?
That's why you got your car stolen. Yeah.
But by the way, that story never ends. First week on the job, they give me a cell phone. Remember the big box? It was like a briefcase.
Yeah.
Hand crank.
Oh, not even the gray one.
Yeah.
Before the gray one. Wow.
With the brick phone.
Yeah.
They gave me a cell phone. I go to my first meeting. And by the way, legend, God bless him, Tibor Hollow.
Yeah.
God bless him. I go to his office because they were big donors to United Way. I'm on the phone. Mom, guess where I'm in my car on a phone. My mom's like, you're on a phone in the car? Right? I said, Mom, they have electricity in Miami, right? But Georgians will get that joke and appreciate it. So I go to the meeting. I leave the cell phone in the car. I come out of the meeting. My window was broken. The cell phone had been stolen.
Oh, my God.
Some kids had seen me driving down the street.
Yeah.
Showing off.
Pimping with my phone.
Showing off.
They just followed me to where I stopped. And then they stole my cell phone.
You learned some lessons, some hard lessons very early on in Miami.
Miami lessons.
Yeah.
The early years.
Yeah.
Have you gotten robbed since?
No.
There you go.
There we go.
See, quick learner. Quick learner.
So 17 years, you worked your way up. And
you were there for
17 years, the initial stint.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's a long stint.
Yeah.
Ultimately, chief marketing officer, executive VP.
And then you went to the 51st state.
Yeah. So again, the president literally, remember, this is for the career-minded listener. Because, when are you going to replace? You're the number 2. You're going to replace Bill Taubert. And Bill Taubert, everybody on this podcast knows of or has heard of Bill Taubert, what he did 30 years at the Bureau. But, and this was 17 years in. Oh, you're the new guy. You're going to replace Bill Taubert. I said, Bill Taubert is going to work here for another 20 years. They're going to pry him out of his desk.
Yeah.
And Bill's still kicking. God love him. He's a dear friend. But I knew he wasn't going anywhere. And so to advance in leadership, I was offered a chance to interview for and became the president of the Convention and Visitor Bureau in Toronto. And a lot of your listeners don't know Canada. They think we're all foraging for food and huddling
it's like some
by
podunk town.
We're all ice fishing and huddling by the fire.
I'm pretty sure we always use this tagline when we're pitching our hotel. It's the Fifth largest city in North America. Fourth or fifth? It depends.
Fourth, from my knowledge.
Fourth. It's like New York, LA, Mexico City, and then Toronto, or maybe I think Chicago.
Yeah, we're slightly ahead
Dallas.
of Chicago.
Okay.
And then Philadelphia is sneaking in there. Houston is now caught up. But again, Toronto is a metropolitan, cosmopolitan city, massive city, 6 million people.
Yeah.
And so going there was just a real privilege. And being an American, being a white Anglo male American, living in Toronto, I had never been a minority before.
Right. It's very diverse.
Literally.
Yeah.
And so it was fascinating. It was a great, humbling, somewhat enriching experience.
Amazing Chinese food. Asian food up there is dim sum. Every time I go, I get dim sum. It's incredible.
By the way, the food is so good, I married one of them.
One of them?
God bless my wife. She's not listening, but I met my wife in Toronto. She's Chinese.
Oh, amazing.
There's a huge Chinese community.
Yeah, huge. The dim sum up there is unparalleled.
And if you met my wife, you'd realize what an incredible salesperson I am, that I somehow convinced her to marry me. Because she's amazing.
I believe it.
Yeah. But I love Toronto. I really did. It was a great experience.
It's a great city. I love going up there. It reminds me a lot of Chicago.
Speaking of, after 8 years there, I became, because it's a competitive thing, the job opened in Chicago, and I became the president of the Chicago Convention and Visitor Bureau.
Oh, cool.
And I was there for 5 years. McCormick Place is the mecca of convention centers.
Is it? I saw that you were responsible for that. But
yeah. No, it's
how big is it?
Massive.
Yeah.
4 times larger than the Miami Beach Convention Center. So really what that means is you can have 4 major conventions all at the same time.
You know, Felipe, ever since we moved into Bureau, my productivity has been through the roof. I mean, I might actually be getting things done for once.
The energy at Bureau just makes work fun. Plus, with 8 locations across South Florida, from South Miami all the way to Hollywood, there's no excuse for not finding a spot to get your shit done, Ben.
And we're not alone. Over 500 local companies call Bureau home. Everything from creative agencies and real estate firms to tech startups, law firms, and media companies. It's a melting pot of brilliant people, and we don't include ourselves in that category.
We definitely don't include ourselves in that category. Bureau really has space for anyone, whether you're flying solo or have a team. There are suites starting at 100 square feet all the way up to 2,000 square feet. They also don't try to lock you into long-term agreements, and everything is month to month.
Let's not forget the important stuff either. The coffee is top tier, staff is incredible, and has a very entrepreneurial vibe. It's not just a workspace, it's a place where work actually gets done.
That's right, Ben. So if you want to level up your workday like we try to do every day, check out Bureau. You might even catch us sipping some espressos between podcast sessions.
Or tequila.
Definitely tequila.
Tell Bureau the Built World sent you, and you'll get 50% off your first month's membership. See you out there. Cheers.
Later.
Builties. Cafecito Club is back. November 14th at Miami Central. We're grabbing coffee at Rosetta Bakery on the 2nd level. Come out and pound some coffee with us.
We're going to be at the Brightline Station, otherwise known as Miami Central, 9 a.m.-ish. This is probably our 5th or 6th Cafecito Club. Come out. We're just going to grab coffee and chat about real estate with the Builty community. So again, it's November 14th, 9 a.m. at Miami Central.
Friday, November 14th. See you guys there. This episode is brought to you by Built World Advisors. Yeah, that's us. We're not your typical commercial brokerage. We combine deep market knowledge with a media platform that actually connects to people doing deals. The developers, brokers, architects, and attorneys.
Let's not forget the investors, Ben. From warehouses in East Hialeah to off-market gems in Allapattah, we help you find value where others aren't looking. If you're tired of waiting for opportunities to land in your inbox, let's talk.
Built World Advisors, real estate for the people who get shit done. You can check us out at builtworldadvisors.com.
I mean, in terms of convention centers, Miami Beach is pretty small, right?
It was. It is not any longer because thanks to the city and the county, about 4 years ago, they spent $640 million to expand it and renovate it. And it's beautiful today. Added 60,000 square foot ballroom, added another 20,000 square foot ballroom. Because before, to have lunch for everyone, you had to take a space. You had to take one of the halls to have lunch.
Yeah.
So now all 4 halls can be activated as a trade show or a convention because of the auxiliary space.
So how many square feet do we have at?
Now over 1.4 million.
Okay.
So it's not as large as Orlando, not as large as Chicago or Las Vegas, but it's right there in the top 10.
I mean, the other big convention cities, I feel like San Antonio, Las Vegas.
San Diego, not San Antonio perhaps, but San
Really?
Diego.
San
for
Antonio,
sure.
no, huh?
They have a nice building, but San Diego has a massive building.
Yeah.
But again, a great point for your listeners and where we're kind of ultimately heading in terms of the value proposition, the positioning of Miami as a brand, a destination for retail, for meetings, even for commercial development. We don't want someone who wants to pay $75 a night staying in a hotel, going to their convention. We want someone who's going to pay $400 a night staying in their hotel, going to their convention. So we're marketing and promoting. We want fintech, we want banking, we want international finance, we want technology, we want medicine. We're not looking for those nonprofit, God bless them, they're wonderful, but we're not looking for that teachers association to have their meeting where they really can barely afford what we have.
Yeah.
We want them to want to pay a lot of money to be here. So we have to attract the right kind of customer, both on the leisure, speaking about Harbor or, Brickell City Center or what have you. But we also have to attract the right high value meeting delegate who's not so much worried about the price point.
What are the largest conferences at the Miami Beach Convention Center currently?
Well, by far the Art Basel, which checks two boxes, right? A, it's a great show, full, important time of year, a relatively slower period, December. But also just the kind of people it attracts, the buzz that it creates, the art aficionado, the art lover, all the auxiliary events.
Extremely wealthy people.
And it's become literally art week, not just, and it's not just the Miami Beach event at the convention center, but there's, 14 different Art Basel and other art events. Art Miami, Coconut Grove has an event.
Yep.
So it's become a celebration of art, attracts the right kind of customer. And full use of the building.
What other conferences?
So
the auto show, the boat show.
Just came from the ribbon cutting of the auto show. Went by Penguin, got the shirt. Don't tell my wife. Which means a quick change in the car. But so those are the annuals. They meet every year, right? Then we'll have we bid on because they could meet in Orlando, they could meet in Chicago, they could meet in Dallas. We had Adobe, their global conference, 14,000 people last year. They had such a great time and such a great experience. First time out of LA in 12 years. There was some luck. Construction of the LA Convention Center made them move. They came here, had such a great experience. They've rebooked us for the next 2 years.
Oh, great.
Because they loved Miami Beach.
Yeah.
They loved Lincoln Road. I mean, there's a great example of where Lincoln Road is a fulfillment of, break out of the building and walk across it. There you are on Lincoln Road, right?
Yep.
So we were able to kind of steal that event because they had such a great experience.
Yeah, I worked for, I had a zoning software company, and we did kind of the convention tours, and oh my God, those are just soul sucking in some cities that we went to, like San Antonio. I think we went to San Francisco. I just don't feel like, the amenities next to the conference centers, the convention centers, are as good as what we have here in Miami, right? You have Lincoln Road, you have the beach, you have hotels, you have great restaurants.
You nailed it. If this doesn't work out for you, you can join our team.
and the walkability, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's just like when people go to a convention or a conference, they don't want to be in their cars. They don't want to be spending time in their cars. Like, we have the weather, we have the walkability, we have.
I mean, to go to a conference and be able to walk to the beach like in 3 blocks, is pretty sick.
It is pretty sick.
And then all the restaurants around there.
Yeah. But even beyond that, like Carbone, people, a company will come and they'll buy out Carbone on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And Carbone will work with them. Milos will work with them.
Yep. Miami's changed a lot in the last 10 years.
And they'll have their, Catch-22. They'll come, buy out the entire restaurant, have their event for their sponsors or for their delegates, their board. And we have so much to offer in that respect. And it's not just Miami Beach. I mean, even on Brickell. I mean, look at Amazonico last night. They had their grand opening. What an amazing space. 3 floors.
Yeah.
Right? Hell's Kitchen, Chef Gordon Ramsay opening that place right here around the corner on Brickell. Those big spaces are not for us to go have dinner there, even they want us. Those are for the buyouts for that corporate event.
And where do those corporate event attendees stay today? Because I know the Convention Center Hotel is under construction. That has 800 rooms. But where do those, you said 14,000 attendees, where do they mainly stay? Because we had a couple on here a couple weeks ago, Gerald and Tricia Posner, who wrote a book about the history of Miami. And it was really interesting to read the proliferation of all those hotels back in the 40s and 50s. Sure. They were building these like very small lot line to lot line, like 30-room hotels with no amenities.
Exactly.
Just squeezing people in. And I think the vast majority of hotels in Miami Beach are like that. They're these crappy little hotels. And then you have the monsters on the sand. You have the Fontainebleaus. You got the Lowe's, all those big ones. Is that where the people are staying? Or are they like, what's the...
Well, so almost quietly, almost unnoticeably, there's the Hyatt Centric right there across from the convention center, halfway between the beach. The Lowe's is our workhorse hotel, 800 rooms.
Yeah.
So we can assemble, 650 people there.
How many rooms do we have on Miami Beach?
Don't hold me to the exact number, but probably close to 20,000 marketable convention-type quality rooms. But, there's a company called Think Hospitality. You may know them. They're geniuses at what they do. They have 9 boutique hotels. They can offer one contract for all 9, and they're all relatively connected and close to one another. Like the Plymouth is their show horse hotel, literally 2 blocks away from the convention center. The Thompson Hotel, which is set to open.
Not anymore.
That's right. They just changed the name.
Yeah, you see that?
Do you know? I don't.
I saw a news story today that I was going to ask you about because that seems very strange. Like it's a brand new construction hotel to be branded Thompson. To pull out a week ahead of opening is super weird because normally those HMAs are like 20-year deals.
Yeah, something happened.
And the developers built it to spec for Thompson, I'm sure. And then Hyatt announced, no, we're not going to do this anymore. Like that's
not Hyatt announced.
But Hyatt's the parent company.
But the Thompson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, again, Ronnie Finbarb. Great guy, by the way. Really great developer. I don't know to be honest, and I'm not being coy, I just don't know the details.
I think it just happened.
I think it just
today
I had heard yesterday it happened.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a great hotel regardless
it's a beautiful
of the flag.
hotel, absolutely. And a great location.
The National Hotel, the Royal Palm, closed for renovations.
Is it?
Totally closed. The Shelbourne, you have to go to the Shelbourne. It's not what it used to be. The Shelbourne was around forever. Relatively tired, kind of typical hotel, what you're talking about. Now, multi-million-dollar renovation. It's fabulous. Look what the Faena team has done with that block. Look at all those new developments along there. Some of those projects are still. By the way, I said projects just like Canada.
Yeah, I know. That's
shout out to our Canadian friends.
Yes, that's amazing.
It's about the projects.
And they still call pasta, by the way. And I have to keep a straight face. Yeah.
Well, at least I still got some.
I do let a lot of A's rip. It's pretty fun.
I still got a little of that Canadian in me.
Pretty good project, eh?
Projects. But those projects that are underway. But again, to my point earlier, all of those are 5-star, 4-star hotels. That we need to fill, and we're not going to fill them with discount travelers and conscious-minded convention delegates. This is a high value. We ended the year. We have these surveys. STR. It's a very credible. 3rd highest average daily rate in the country. Last 2 years in a row.
What are the first 2? New York and
Hawaii. Oahu Island, Hawaii.
Wow.
And New York's always been number 1, and Hawaii's always been number 2. But for us to get up to number 3. And also, it's more important to San Francisco is up there. Now, they're high in average daily rate, but they're low in occupancy. A lot of stuff happening in San Francisco. You mentioned it earlier. So you got to be good in both. You got to both be full and commanding a great price. And so that rev per room, that rev per available room is the barometer. And again, we ended the year 4th. Somehow Boston got just ahead of us.
And I was going to ask you about that. Like, where do you think we're at today in regards to overall hotel health? Because I think I was looking at your numbers online, and your numbers basically look like we're doing really well. It looks like we're better than last year, better than 2 years ago. But on the street, it feels like 2022 was a peak year. And ever since then, RevPAR has been sliding for a lot of operators. And I'm seeing a lot of hotels that are quietly for sale. A lot are deep in the red, losing money. Yeah. A lot of guys trying to figure out what to do. And I don't know if that's just bad operators or if it's a broader market pullback. I mean, like we said earlier, everything comes in waves. But what's your sense on where the market's at today? How does that resonate where when I'm telling you on the street, I'm seeing guys bleeding red, like real bleeding red. But on the STR data, I'm seeing RevPAR seems to be up year over year.
So great question. And there's a lot of answers
it's nuanced,
to unpack and nuance to that. So it really kind of depends on the life cycle of that hotel. What's your debt service? What's your when's the last time you renovated? What do the rooms look like in terms of soft goods and things like that? So, For the hotel I mentioned earlier, the National, they literally, to be profitable, they needed to just gut the hotel and start over.
Right.
Shelbourne, the same example. Other hotels don't have that advantage. The Lowe's just changed all their bathrooms because, again, they have to be competitive and they have to keep moving. So it really depends on the liquidity. It depends on the assets that hotel developer owner have. I think, as you know, and I'm not an expert in this space, but in my years, interest rates play a big deal in the timing of moving assets and acquiring assets.
So you think it's more of a real estate economics issue and less of a top-line revenue tourism issue?
That seems to be my understanding based on everything you see.
Right.
Now, that's predicated on being successful. And again, the numbers are the numbers. We really are the third highest occupancy. But if your budget is, and you've borrowed money, and your budget is to grow 5% and you want to grow 3%, and here we are saying, hey, we had a record year, we grew 3%, but your budget is 5%, you're not going to be happy, right? So a lot of those factors depends on your situation financially, the asset value, the investments of that asset, and what's the long-term strategy. Bottom line, oversimplified, we just need to continue to grow. So we're excited about the inventory, a lot of new inventory coming online. That's a good, bad news scenario because that's just more competition. But if we can keep the value and the price point high, I'd rather a hotel be 70% full at $400 than obviously 90%.
Well, all day, and you get a better quality guest too. You don't get the people that are trashing the rooms. And
it's funny, COVID kind of taught a lot of people, right? You could close floors, have half the staff servicing those floors. It costs like $49 a room just to open a room, right? Service, clean it, keep the lights on. So I think yield management is going to always be a big part of that.
I think there's a lot of room. I mean, obviously, I believe in the hospitality industry. There's a lot of room for disruption there. I think the pitch we always give, traditional hospitality operators are hitting 20%, 30% margins if they're good off top line revenue. That's historic. And everyone operates in a certain way because that's just the way to operate. But there's new ways to operate. That's kind of what we did at the Annex. We're running at 50% margins.
Right, exactly.
And we're a 24-key hotel. We're tiny. And to run a 24-key tiny hotel at 50% margins is pretty unheard of. But I think that's what I think is exciting about Miami is there's all those little hotels that are ripe for redevelopment on top of, we'll ride the coattails of the big dogs doing the 800-room construction sites.
And again, Miami being Miami Beach, look at the One Hotel, for example. That rooftop bar, just think about how much money that rooftop bar spills out.
I can't even imagine.
And the same thing for their restaurant, this new Mediterranean Michelin star recognized restaurant. The money so if you have a hotel that look at the Fontainebleau's food and beverage operation or the Club Live. But if you have those economic engines along with the hotel, you have that great, and that's kind of the beauty of South Beach especially, that cool lobby bar, that cool lobby restaurant. I mean, even the Betsy has a very profitable restaurant, STK, right there in their lobby, right?
But those are the loss leaders in a way, because those are even less margin. Those are like, 12% if you're good, maybe 15. I know the restaurant guys from Fort Lauderdale run a little bit higher. The real good operators will start hitting higher numbers.
Exactly.
But something else that stood out to me in the numbers too was downtown and Coconut Grove are banging year over year.
Crushing it.
What is that about? Is there some outlier new hotels there?
When you say downtown, you mean Brickell or?
Brickell, yeah.
Well, downtown Miami's 16% up year over year, 20.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just for the month of August, right? But
no, I mean, Brickell's that new, if it's 3 years old, we don't call it new anymore, but it's still that new darling. And I mean, look what's happened on Brickell just in the last 5 years.
And the Grove too. The Grove is up 7.8% according to your numbers year over year.
Yeah, and there's new restaurants in the Grove. But again, the Grove, we joked about South Beach. The Grove, since 85, Senior Frogs. The mugging, I'm over it. Not really. In fact, it's right behind that post office there.
That was
every time I go by that post office, I'm like, I got mugged right here.
Those motherfuckers.
I wonder if those guys are like 70 now, right?
Oh yeah, they're probably laughing.
But look at the Grove, and so that's what happened. The Grove was. Remember when I first got here. The Grove, there was no Ocean Drive. The Grove was it.
Yeah.
Lincoln Road was abandoned. I remember the first cool bar, restaurant on Lincoln Road. But there it goes, and boom, it takes off. So the Grove has come and back, and Cocoa Walk has reinvented itself 5 different times. The Grove is happening right now, and it's happening because it's interesting, it's new. I think a younger audience doesn't have the brand allegiance. And for example, businesses, the hospitality business, they have to have Miamians, Dade Countyans also have to come and frequent them. And so the beach has had its issues the last couple of years. It's a pause on the causeway, a lot of traffic. Can we get parking? Spring break, we could spend all day talking about spring break and how that kind of changed the brand positioning of Ocean Drive, for example. We've overcome that, I think, successfully.
Yeah, what was that about? I thought that was kind of weird that like the city would, I don't know if that was you guys or who did that, but it was kind of like a market like, we don't want you.
Well, that was the city's position.
That just feels like against the city's interests. I get it. It got out of control, but it's like you're almost advertising against your business owners. Like I don't own a business in South Beach, but I'd be pretty pissed if I did.
They don't want a bunch of broke ass college kids down there destroying shit.
But dude, those are the biggest revenue generating months, and in Miami, it's such a seasonal market. You got to make your money in February to March, otherwise you're fucked. Like,
so. Can you say fucked on this show?
Oh, yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah. We don't hold back.
Obviously,
our listeners like it really dirty.
Obviously, I've had a lot of practice.
That's what they tell us.
So obviously, I've had a lot of practice answering this question. A, last year, March, and B, the year before March, were the 2 most successful revenue months of March ever on Miami Beach. The Lowe's wasn't full of spring breakers.
But what are we counting? Are we counting revenue for F&B, hotels, or both?
RevPAR,
okay.
For the hotel barometer.
Okay.
Also had the high occupancies. If you're a restaurant on Ocean Drive, and if you saw the crackdown, quote unquote, the crackdown, the first year after the chaos, they had a horrible, you talk about fucked, they had a horrible, not just March, April, May, and June.
Yeah.
So at least with the return to normalcy, using my words carefully, after the March clampdown, many of the operators got back to normal in April, May, and June. So they did see a noticeable return to normalcy quicker. So you have to kind of look at the long run, not just the month of March. So there were some sacrifices that first year. Nobody wants when you close, what's it called? A curfew. No one wants a curfew. But that sacrifice that was made for a couple of weeks, that first couple of spring breaks, has now transitioned to, that's kind of gone away now. We had a relatively calm March last year. And by the way, the campaign, award-winning campaign, by the way, because it was so clever, it was a parody. It really wasn't, don't come here. It was, if you watch that campaign, it was really almost a very clever parody of breaking up with spring break. Everybody who wanted to hear that, and if you were a spring breaker, you probably never even saw the commercial, quite frankly.
It's probably word of mouth. Like, don't go to Miami. They have a curfew. It's lame. Go somewhere else. But go to Lauderdale. Yeah.
But we were on the Today Show. We were on New York Times. We got so much.
What was the curfew? Midnight?
Don't hold me to it. Whatever it was, it might have been even 6 p.m. at some point. The most draconian.
What year was this? 23.
3 years ago, right?
Okay.
Closing the beach at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
$100 parking.
Yeah.
Those measures, and again, I'm not just being political. You can't tippy-toe. You're going to crack down and start over, or you're going to just, because remember, they've been dealing with this for 15 years over there. I've only been back 4, but they did have to kind of draw a line in the sand, no pun intended.
So what you're saying is it clamped down on the chaos, but now we're seeing a return to normal in terms of RevPAR, but the experience is better.
Yes. And I just, and as I go up and down Ocean Drive, and as I go up and down Collins and Washington, it's just calmer.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I mean, I as a resident, I like it. Like, as a resident, I don't want to go there with the chaos. I don't want to deal with the traffic. Like, I'll just stay home.
But if you're staying in the Lowe's...
But from a business owner, I'm just trying
to... Yeah, but I know. But if you're staying at the Lowe's or the Betsy or even the Avalon, you don't want chaos in the streets. And if I checked into that hotel, I wouldn't want chaos in front of my hotel.
No.
So there's no right or wrong, but we have returned back to relatively normal.
And I thought it was interesting, like looking at these charts that you guys have on your website, which are really helpful. The greater Miami and Miami Beach visitors This is in thousands. Wow. Okay, so in 2019 it was 24 million, and then COVID killed us, 11 million.
Yeah.
But then in 2021 we're back at 24 million right away, back to 2019 levels, and then we're up. We're 26 million in 22, 27 million in 23, 28 million in 24. So it seems like it didn't really have the number of people coming to Miami is on that upward trajectory.
And right, and you know, I'd be wise, especially after a couple of glasses of bourbon or whiskey, to not get into politics. But you know, Florida opened up sooner.
Totally.
And I wasn't even here. I was in Chicago at that time.
How was Chicago then?
Closed down. We nothing. No restaurants.
Because I love Chicago. I went to school there for 2 years.
It was closed down.
Wow.
I told my wife one night on a Sunday, I said, I'm going to the grocery store. She said, when will you be back? I said, Thursday. Because there was nowhere to go, 24/7.
Wow.
Stuck at home, right?
Wow.
Working from home.
COVID only existed here for like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. It
By
was
the
beautiful.
way, you got to give me advice on how many wife jokes I can pull off
As many as you want.
without getting in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, listen, just make sure your wife doesn't listen to this.
I love my wife. Love her. Blessed to have her.
My wife doesn't listen to this.
Good.
Because she knows the amount of nonsense that comes out of my mouth. She's like, I live with it. I don't need to listen to any more of it.
But Florida opened first, right? Now, part of that was part of the problem. That first year, and kids flush with cash, right? I'm not speaking
Stimmy money. That's
I'm not
right.
speaking in whispers here and
Yeah.
dog whispers. It's people flush with cash.
We got that Biden money, those $1,200.
And they were coming out here and just, you know,
Yeah.
it was chaos.
Yep.
Now, some people appropriately, deservedly made a lot of money, but that's not a sustainable business model for what
No.
we want to achieve, to have highest average daily rate, high occupancy, and a high-value customer who wants the high-value experience.
And I don't think that equals twerking on top of a car on Collins.
Exactly.
So I'm on board with that. I don't know. Felipe might like the twerking.
I like the twerking. You know, bring it back, please.
Is that participating or watching?
That's a great question.
I mean,
Let's try to get clear
it
here.
depends how many drinks I have. You know.
Wow, Felipe twerking.
We got to be careful then, because that sounds terrifying.
You know, I was mugged once. Trying to keep it real.
So, in terms of, let's talk a little bit about MIA and the port, because
They're great engines.
They're great engines for us. We are we still seeing a lot of internationals coming to Miami, and is that declining just given the current you know political environment? Are people shying away from coming to Miami?
So, couple of questions, couple of answers. Before the recent kind of political discussion about the United States being welcoming and inviting to people from all over the world, or especially immigrant communities and nations that are pervasive with immigrant candidates.
Because you see the news and like it's like Canadians are just selling everything and they're
You
moving
can't watch
back.
the news, dude.
I know, but I want to get the real.
But another great example, right? So if I were in Hollywood, and you have partners in Hollywood, they've seen a real decline. Boston has seen a decline. Chicago has seen a decline. Arizona has seen a decline. You know, Canadian visitors at the beginning were down like 10, 20%. It is slowly coming back, which is good. All that rhetoric has cooled off.
Elbows up, right?
Exactly. Hey, great Canadian phrase.
The knee jerk reaction is
That's what the Canadians say. They say elbows up. It's like a cocky thing.
Yeah.
Like, keep your elbows up.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with these
In
Americans.
the corners.
But they're so jealous. I know.
But
I love giving them shit.
I'm not trying to make. I'm not trying to avoid or be defensive. We don't have the key number, which is going to be this winter, because remember all this happened kind of in February.
Right.
So most of our Canadian visitors had already come and gone by the time all that news and
They forgot already.
right.
Yeah.
But also, you know, unlike Hollywood,
You're talking Hollywood, Florida, or LA?
Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. Our Bal Harbor Canadian, our Ritz-Carlton Canadian on South Beach, our Canadian staying at the Faena, our Canadian staying at the Four Seasons is a different Canadian.
Yeah.
And high value, again, affluent travelers behave very differently than price conscious travelers. Affluent travelers have different political worlds they live in. They have different filters that they view the world in, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been, I think, a bit immune to the protest
Yeah.
traveler. And our numbers were only down literally 4%.
I mean, I don't see it in your numbers. I'm looking at them. The total international travelers dropped in 2020. We were at 6,900 in 2019. And then 6.9 million in 2019, 2.4 in 2020, and then we're at 5.1 million back in 21. And as of 2024, we're back to 6.4. So we're almost back to 2019 levels of international.
Yeah. So it's not having all your eggs in one basket like Canada, forgive me, or Brazil.
Right.
You know, back 20 years ago, we were just solely dependent on Brazil from South America. So now we just have a lot of diversity of our visitors. But we've become an affluent traveler destination. So we're a little bit protected from some of the political headwinds or some of the machinations of politics. If you want to go to the Faena, and you've been there and you've gone there before and you love it, you're going to go to the Faena, whether Trump's president or Biden's president, right? So I think we benefit from that sophisticated traveler, that the nuances or lack of sensitivity. The diversity of our market is so good. And then I'll joke because we're having so much fun. I literally had a tour operator once tell me in Brazil, you know why I like Miami? It's so close to the United States.
We say that all the time.
The U.S. line starts at Broward. You know that?
And so, and again, some of the Florida politics that were discussed a couple of years ago, we're different. I mean, even, and you get into these dicey subjects, but I'm comfortable. Regardless of politics, we're going to be one of the most openly, friendly, welcoming LGBTQ destinations in the world. We've always been, we always will be. It's the people. It's our culture.
Yep.
It's not the politics.
I mean, the interesting thing about the politics about Miami, which we don't get into much, it's definitely more a red state, or Florida's a red state. Miami's not necessarily.
Well, Miami's kind of a toss-up at this point.
Toss-up.
Right?
But what's cool is, like, no one gives a shit. Feel like you can do whatever you want here. Like, we joke about there's no rules in Miami, so embrace the shit show.
We just walked into a convenience store on our street the other day, and they're selling weed. I'm like, how is this even legal? Like, they literally had jars of weed.
Flour.
Yeah. And we're like, did some law just change? I'm like, we asked, is like, this is real weed? She's like, yeah. I'm like, what do you need to show? Just an ID. Okay.
So my lawyer told me not to answer that question.
No, we're just saying there's no rules here.
Yeah,
which is no one cares if you what you like to do, who you like to hang out with. Like, it's just kind of do your own thing.
But kind of the fun part, beauty of it is we're not even a red and blue county. We're kind of this.
That's what he was saying. It's a toss-up.
Our commissioners, they're not Republican commissioners. And our Miami Beach Commission, as an example here, or the City of Miami Commission, they're not Republicans and Democrats. They're like, so are you red-leaning or blue-leaning? I'm like, well, they're Miami-leaning, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we really try to do our own thing here. I think it's kind of the beauty of our independence. Less
rules is better. Miami's, you drive over the median if you're stuck.
Or not.
So what's GMCVB?
There you go.
What are kind of your initiatives going forward now for Miami? Like, how do you guys marketing push? I mean, are you guys just kind of putting ads out? Like, what's the marketing strategy going forward?
Well, for everything.
I mean, you mentioned sports is a huge angle, bringing in that business.
Yeah. But securing those major high-profile sporting events, we've been working on that for several years. Next year will be a real great topping off of that. I did talk about the affluent traveler. That really is very focused.
Let me ask you a question real quickly. I'm just curious. Like, FIFA says, we want to bring the World Cup to Miami. Who's the first person they call? How do you get involved? I mean, because you seem to have, so much like intellectual capital of what the macro lay of the land is that's happening, the events that are coming in, when they're happening, right. Because when you have so many different events happening at the same time, like, you really have to understand, like, okay, do we have enough rooms to house all these people, question. Right? Like, is there enough restaurants to feed all these people that are coming in? I mean, I imagine you guys are one of the first organizations that are contacted.
Sure. So I think for a couple of reasons. One is it's for almost any major event, whether it's a big high-profile sporting event, Super Bowls, college football championships, but even working. So you have to bid on these things, and I use that word very importantly, bid, because there's usually a bid package. These are the things you have to prove that you can deliver: number of rooms in proximity to the event site. Rooms of quality, in proximity to the event site. So that's kind of a big part of it. You've got to have the rooms, you've got to have the venues, but it is a bid. They literally ask for, in fact, right now we've been asked to bid on the Women's World Cup. So just kind of real time, right? Because again, I wasn't here, but my predecessor, and at the time a different mayor of Miami-Dade County, Carlos Jimenez, were asked to send a letter of interest to bid on being a host city for FIFA. Just for the record, I was in Chicago and we chose not to bid on FIFA because our Soldier Field during the summer, that's our big concert. We make more money, as you know, being in Soldier Field in Chicago, that's our money-making time, the summer.
I used to live right down the street, Wabash and 2nd. I was right there.
Lollapalooza and all the big, Coldplay and on and on and on. So
there's no games happening. No games happening in Chicago. No FIFA games happening in Chicago.
No, we literally didn't. We couldn't take that arena offline during the summer because it's Chicago. Now Miami, the summer's a relatively slower period, right? In fact, that's key to your listeners. We're going to have full hotels in June and July when our occupancy is 60%
or less.
Or less.
Yeah, I mean from April to September, you're eating shit.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And then October, November is a little better.
Can you say shit on this broadcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fucking shit or both in.
There's no rules. This is a Miami podcast. There's no rules.
Our listeners like it real dirty.
Okay. Well, fucking shit. You're heading there. Let's go. So again, that's important because remember the big hubbub about the $40 million from the county to fund the FIFA host committee?
No, I didn't see that.
Well, the county appropriately contributed $40 million. It's all for security, by the way. So the county actually, most of that is going to be paying off-duty county police officers, which are needed for security.
For FIFA? Okay.
Yeah. But all that money is going to be replenished because the resort tax collections are going to be up 20%.
Oh yeah, all day.
And
that's a huge asset to.
So FIFA is going to pay for itself in terms of the county tax contribution of public-private resources.
And I'm a bit ignorant on the World Cup thing because I don't follow it that well. We were talking about the other day. You were saying that we're going to have some of the games here, or how is that going to work?
Yeah, there's going to be some of the early games, and then I think the semifinals going to be here.
We're quite well positioned. So seven matches in total.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
11 cities around the country, and then 3 other cities, 2 in Canada and 1 in Mexico City, Vancouver, Toronto. So 14 host cities, 11 in the United States. There's a group play. So in fact, a lot of your listeners will everybody's going to get excited in December. I think it's December 13th when they do the draw. And that'll mean we'll know of what 4 teams are going to call Miami Hard Rock Stadium home for those first three matches against each other.
Okay.
4 matches ultimately. And that's if we get Brazil, it's a ping pong. It really is.
Yeah.
If we get England, if we get Germany, if we get Argentina, if we get Colombia,
it's like a lottery. We're waiting.
By the way, if we get Colombia, leave. Just leave. I'm insulting my Colombian friends on your podcast, and I'm just kidding. But I'm not kidding.
Why? Because it's going to be chaos?
No, it's fun. It's fun. The
can
passion.
We insult the Argentinians too? I'm Brazilian, so we got to insult the Argentinians as well.
Okay. So para você is all I can say. But we're going to get so we're not going to get Brazil, Argentina, and we're going to get 2 amazing teams.
Yeah.
Probably 2 of the top 15. And we're going to get we're going to get Trinidad and Tobago or Botswana.
Yeah.
Or Japan. I don't know. But so those first few matches it'll all depend on who it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, if it's Argentina, if it's Colombia, if it's Brazil, if it's Germany, Katie bar the door, France, they travel well.
Yeah.
So 4 matches, then based on winners and losers, survivor matches, elimination rounds, there'll be good teams. We'll have great fans. But then to your point earlier, we're going to have one of the semifinal matches.
Yeah. That's
and
big.
So,
That's
and by the
big.
way, a great tribute to Miami. With the exception of New York for the final, it's New York. With the exception of SoFi Stadium in San California, that massive stadium, the Jerry Jones Stadium in Dallas. Yeah. We're the smallest stadium to have one of those quarterfinal matches.
Yes.
Is that Hard Rock?
Yes.
Okay.
All the matches at Hard Rock.
Where do the teams stay, by the way?
It depends. Once they know they're going to be, once this draw happens, then we have hotels set aside for them to choose from.
Got it.
they'll probably want to be closer to Hard Rock Stadium than not.
There's not much good stuff up there, unfortunately. Sorry,
You're going to
Broward.
put them in a fucking Best Western up there?
Yeah, Econo Lodge.
Yeah. So, my colleagues in Broward, those are my frenemies. So I'm never going to bash Broward, but I couldn't.
Oh, we will for you.
But
That's
I couldn't
If there's
agree
one
more.
thing we'd love to, if there's one thing we'd love to do on this podcast is shit on Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, wow.
Just
Yeah.
a nice Hampton Inn Suites for
Yeah.
Messi. Like, let's see how he does.
So we can shit on Fort Lauderdale all you want here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can say fuck, shit, and Fort Lauderdale
Yeah,
on this
all the
podcast.
same thing.
I
Everyone
think that was a
interpret-
proper sentence.
Thank you. I got one in. No, we love Fort Lauderdale.
Do
It's
we?
getting better. It's getting better. Look, we interviewed these guys, Tim and Alan, the restaurant guys, the
Do you know
restaurant
them?
people.
Tim Petrillo and Alan Hooper, the restaurant
But you know,
people.
I'll tell you, and again, just as an aside, I want Fort Lauderdale full.
Oh, it's
Every night of the year, I want those hotels full.
it's changed drastically.
Because
Yeah.
if they're not full, they drop their prices. And that plays our hand in Miami.
It pulls from us.
So
yeah.
I want Fort Lauderdale full every day of the year
Yeah.
so that we can then quadruple our rates.
We need the whites to go to Fort Lauderdale and prop those rates up. The
This is-
classics.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it sounds really. So when the hotels bid on the World Cup, how does that work? They just say we're interested in hosting. We're willing to set a block of rooms at this rate or something like
Right,
that.
right.
Okay.
And then so we give kind of a menu of choices to the hotels, and there's a hotel set aside for the referees.
Yeah.
There's a hotel set aside
That's
for
an important hotel. Those guys can move some games.
So I know that hotel. It's a secret, but I know. So talk to me. More whiskey. I'll tell you the hotel for the
We'll
referees.
tell you guys where the refs are staying.
Yeah. We need to hang out with those guys.
Yeah.
It's a secret today. Maybe not later, but it's a secret today.
Get on the betting apps.
We'll move markets here.
There we go. Built World's making moves. Oh, that's awesome. And I guess Formula One, F1 probably brings a lot of those high value clients too that you're talking about. Like those are the kind of the type of sporting events that you guys sound like you're targeting because that really brings the Richard Mille wearing crowd into town.
And again, I'd love to say we had no skin in the game to bid on or host that. We've marketed the heck out of it for obvious reasons. Hard Rock Stadium is a great partner, but Mr. Ross himself and the money he spent to build that track. But he's recouping that because he's a wise businessman. Hard Rock Stadium is now the epicenter. Tennis, F1, concerts.
Yeah.
It's really incredible how
Oh,
many
it's incredible
sporting
what
events
they've
that we
done.
have that are just
It is
like
crazy.
And it's Mr. Ross. Look at what
Yeah.
he's look at his
Yeah.
portfolio. Look at his capability.
tennis,
That's why he's done
F1,
it.
we need
Dolphins.
to get him on the podcast.
Get him
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Do you know him?
I know him, and I think if you want him on your podcast, you got to talk about Michigan football.
Yeah.
He loves Michigan. That's his
Okay,
alma mater.
We can suck up to him on that one.
I mean,
guess.
Minnesota, Michigan, it's close enough. It's the
Yeah.
same thing.
It's not that close.
Have you been to either one? They look exactly the same. Exactly the same.
They both start with MI.
Yeah, and they all have Applebee's, Walmart, maybe a Chipotle, Buffalo Wild Wings. Like that's
All right.
yeah.
I respect your fandom, but you're comparing Michigan sports superiority to
I
Michigan.
mean, I don't know sports. I don't follow sports.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
No,
not
I'm
my
just
that's not
curious.
my bag. I don't know.
The Golden Gophers.
Yeah, I don't pay attention. I grew up in Minnesota in an era when it was Randy Moss and Culpepper. That was like the last time I paid attention to organized sports.
Pro sports, absolutely.
Yeah.
My generation, Rod Carew.
Rod Carew.
Oh, sweetest swing in baseball.
Baseball, man, I can't do baseball.
Yeah.
I can't do baseball.
So let's talk about the cruise industry. It's also a big driver of tourism here.
Huge.
The folks tend to come in a day or two before, stay a day or two after.
That's probably a huge push for downtown Miami hotels,
Yeah.
which I think we need more downtown hotels. There's not that many. I'm surprised by your numbers that downtown Miami's boosting, but I guess that's probably Brickell.
Yeah, more Brickell than
Okay.
not.
Because the only really new hotel I can think of downtown is Yotel, that RD built.
Yeah, but again, a
No,
great
there's
example.
Isn't that other one by the Gale?
Gale's a great example of a great new property, by the way.
There was that other hotel by the Gale too.
What's it called?
I don't know. We walked by
But the
it.
Gale is a phenomenal example of, I think that's Mr. Galbert, Russell
It is,
Galbert.
yes.
It is.
Great hotel. And they get benefit from cruise passengers.
Totally.
Biscayne Bay Marriott just went through a multi-million renovation. They do well in that market.
Icon.
Yeah, no.
I'm not Icon. I'm Epic.
Epic.
That's what I was thinking of. Epic.
Yeah. So, no, look, the fact that tens of thousands of people fly here and all can't get in on the same day, so many of them come the night before. Many of them can't get out on Sunday or Friday, so they stay over for the weekend. It's a great piece of our business. It's also often maybe that's the first time they've flown and seen Miami. They come into the city, they leave on that picturesque departure out of government cut.
Epic departure.
They kind of glance over. Hey, let's come back here for the weekend.
Wave at everybody at South Point Park on the way out.
What % of our visitors are domestic and what % are international?
Oversimplified, of the 22 million overnight visitors, 6 million international, the rest domestic. But that 6 million stay twice as long, spend twice as much.
Interesting.
Which is another dynamic, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just who it is, it's who they represent. An international visitor, like I said, stays twice as long, spends twice as much.
What's the average stay here?
For an international visitor, just over 4 nights. For a domestic visitor, half of that, right?
Okay.
But again, that number is softened by someone just in and out.
Yeah.
Compared to the weekend or a longer stay visitor. So 4 is a very healthy number.
And what markets is Miami competing against in the U.S.?
Well, I think we're always in the competitiveness of our game. We want to beat New York and Hawaii, right?
Yeah,
No.
right.
But again, that's a numbers game. I think we compete with Florida. So, again, Tampa's evolved. Tampa's not what it used to be. Tampa's a great city now.
Yeah.
They have an addition.
Harley riders in Tampa.
But I'll give you an example. They have an addition in Tampa, which is fabulous hotel.
I love the addition here.
Yeah, but the one in Tampa is beautiful.
Really?
And the Riverwalk there. So Tampa's having its moment, deservedly so. Orlando is kind of dominated by Disney and the Orlando brand, but there's a Four Seasons at Disney, right? So
Totally.
There's subsets within the mass market. So we have to win people over to come to Florida first. Now again, in January, February, March, when it's freezing everywhere, it's a different conversation than September, right?
It's a layup.
Events attract people. The South Beach Wine and Food Festival, these iconic events that happen every year. People plan, hey, every year we're going to come down for the South Beach Wine and Food Festival, right? Art Basel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Coconut Grove Art Festival, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
God, there's so much going on in the city. It's unbelievable.
It's awesome.
I'm like, oh yeah, that, and
we forget. We take it for granted.
Yeah, we take it for granted.
Totally.
Like I'm just like, oh.
Well,
yeah.
again, I'm kind of almost glad you said it because we do take it for granted.
Yeah.
And to be the third highest occupancy,
It's crazy.
we're not going to, I won't have my job if we're the 8th highest occupancy, right? So here we are. It's like being a college football coach. If you're 10-1, you can't go 7-5 the next year. You got to stay top, which means we have to keep reinventing ourselves. We have to keep, and then new inventory, new hotels means we have to divide the pie up differently, and right. So we have to just keep adding. But it's a good problem to have more visitors, a higher value visitor experiencing a higher value experience.
And how do you work with stakeholders to push these campaigns? Like, do you work with hotel owners or, hospitality people? Like, how do you work? Do you work with partner with people in the industry? Like, how does that relationship work?
We do have a great co-op with our hotels, with Expedia, as an example, OTA, online travel agency. We do a campaign with OTAs. Our convention center bids are all predicated on hotels. I'll give you 200 rooms, I'll give you 80 rooms, I'll give you 12 rooms. We work with the big partners like American Airlines. Almost 70% of every flight into Miami is American Airlines. So, of course, they're our biggest partner.
70%.
It's a big number.
That's
It's
a
amazing.
huge number. Holy shit.
So we're there, and they're amazing to work with. God bless them. But it's a self-serving interest. They want to fill those planes. We want to fill those planes. They're dominant partners in South America, as an example, all the domestic U.S. routes. We're partners with the chambers and the different bids and the different. We work with Coconut Grove's bid, the Coral Gables bid, the South Beach. So because we're promoting establishments, small businesses, to fulfill those visitor experiences. The Hotel Association's a great partner. A shout out to Lyle Stern, who introduced me to you. Here's a person in his space. He wants to see Lincoln Road thrive.
Yeah.
It's going to thrive with a healthy mix of locals going there, and especially in the softer periods, visitors going there, whether it's a restaurant or just to sightsee. and the nearby hotels. So it's an ecosystem, but we all have the same goal in mind. Butts in beds. Can you say butts on this broadcast?
Ass is the
Ass in
preferred
beds.
nomenclature.
Butts and beds flows a little better.
Yeah,
but
ass in beds. I got to work on that.
Yeah.
I'll come back with something.
heads in beds is typical.
And by the way, never use heads and ass in the same conversation.
That can be.
I've learned that.
Yeah.
That can get messy. Yeah.
Real messy.
Complicated. It's complicated.
How do we rank globally? If we're third nationally, is there any global markets that we compete with that you pay attention to?
You know, I don't know about the numbers. To be honest, I just haven't
Sure.
peeked
Yeah,
at
it's
the
a-
numbers. But, obviously London, Tokyo,
Yeah.
Rome, Toronto,
Right.
huge tourism, Vancouver, right? But again, I think we're more positioned to be a high-value destination than a discount. So we're not competing with Jamaica. You're not choosing to come to Miami over
Right.
Jamaica.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Or even the Caribbean for that matter. Now, maybe in the winter you are, if it's freezing, you just want to get away and be out by a beach. So we may compete seasonally for some of that. But it's, again, based on our price points and what we're trying to command here, we're looking for people that are not going to be even blink when they see the average daily rate we want to charge.
And do you think that trajectory is going to continue? I mean, we have some pretty solid momentum right now with everything that's been going on and what's happened in the last 15 years. We have a real city now. We have cultural
absolutely.
destinations. We have museums. We have the F1 track. We have all this. We have a lot more things that we didn't have before. Do you see that trajectory continuing unabated, or what's your vision for Miami?
Probably not unabated, but for the short term, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. We invested heavily to create the Michelin Guide for Miami. It's not they didn't just say, hey, we want to do a Michelin Guide. We invested in that. We're a huge sponsor. As a result, 17 Michelin starred restaurants, right? And all the buzz.
That's a big deal.
When that comes out, all the news about it, right?
Yeah.
God, we're so fucking cool down here, huh?
By the way, I'm going to plug myself. We're on the Michelin Guide for Toronto.
There
the
you
Annex,
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I did that deal when I was there a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because we understand, it's not just me. I understand if you're going to come to a great destination, you're going to want to go to a great restaurant, right? You're going to stay in you're going to want to stay in a great hotel, but then you want to go walk out the door and go to a great restaurant. You want to go to a great club. You mentioned arts and culture. We are now starting to hit above our weight finally. I mean, whether it's the shows at the Arts Center, some of the theater that we have, some of the music. The New World Symphony is known around the world. Some of the festivals that we have that are centric to arts and culture. We're finally, I think, kind of hitting our stride, coupled with the Latin influence, right? That's never going to change. And Little Havana has never been more popular.
David, let me ask you a question, though. I mean, we have all these events. It's terrific. Our transportation system absolutely sucks here. Are there events and conferences that they come back to us and say, you know what, transit is atrocious. It wasn't, things weren't as efficient as we expected it to be. Is that a big question mark in some events' mind?
So it is and it isn't. So I'll give you the is. I laugh to myself. It's the Yogi Berra. Nobody comes here. It's too crowded.
Yeah.
Nobody comes here because it's too crowded, right? But they're here. Art Basel, they're here. They want to be here. And it may be a hassle to be kind of hustling in traffic, boat show, getting up to Hard Rock Stadium, getting out of Hard Rock Stadium. But they want to be there.
Yeah.
Right. That's the overriding thing. And then I think my relief is because of Uber and Lyft and rideshare. If it weren't for that, we'd be totally fucked. Can you say fucked on this show?
Absolutely.
But we'd be totally fucked.
Yeah.
But I think Lyft and Uber has changed the conversation
Interesting.
for consumers about public transportation.
Yeah.
It really has. Thank God.
Yeah.
Because if it weren't for that, we'd really be in trouble.
Yeah. Imagine if people just having to drive all their cars and parking those. Right now, you have Uber, Lyft, where you don't have to park those cars. People can be efficient while they're in the car working.
And it's probably going to get better once we get more better. Once we get
And by the way, when we
Scotch is kicking in. Once we get better,
more better
autonomous vehicles that can just ride share and you don't have to have a driver.
When we get it to autonomous vehicles, all the politicians who kicked the ball down the road and not invested in public transit, they're going to say, see, I was a genius.
I'm sure.
And by the way, there's some, it is the but the technology of rideshare
We're almost there.
has changed the conversation totally
Yeah.
about mass transit, public transportation. Now we still have some challenges, no doubt. But again, Yogi Berra,
Yeah.
if you want to be at Art Basel, you're going to fight traffic to get there.
Yeah.
Or buy a helicopter.
They drone people in soon.
Exactly.
Now, do your readers watch, or you edit this down? Because your readers must be saying, God, they've been going for.
Oh, no. It's, we've had longer.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, they can just shut it off,
Yeah,
right?
stop listening.
Yeah,
Don't
stop
be a
listening.
bitch.
Yeah.
Well, if Mary Sue is still listening from Georgia, Kathy Faye, I've been drinking.
There's been
Kathy Faye.
There
I
are
won't be
a
loyal.
couple crushes now in high school. It
Oh,
sounds
shit.
like.
No,
Yeah.
Kathy Faye. She
Yeah.
was the real deal.
She was the one.
Kathy.
She's the one that
Faye,
got
God
away.
bless
Well,
her.
thanks for strapping in, Kathy.
Yeah.
This has been a ride.
Can you say strap in on the show?
Well, that's strap on, I think what you're thinking
Wow.
of. I said strap in like a buckle, seatbelt.
Fascinating.
But I think we hit all the points.
Yeah.
Yeah. David, this was a blast, man. Thanks for joining us. It was really fun to pick your
Seriously.
brain about Miami
Yeah.
and the tourism sector and seeing what's going on. And the numbers, I mean, it's pretty cool to see what you guys, the numbers are really helpful, by the way. I download almost every
Yeah, the data is
STR report
unbelievable.
that you guys put out. So it's
Yeah.
helpful to see. And seeing
I
the
think-
visitors increasing every year is encouraging.
A couple of takeaways. We tend to take it for granted, all of us, in the competitive landscape that we are, and we're not. The other thing is to be a great place to visit, and this is my line, I use it all the time, but it's real. It's my Yogi Berra line. To be a great place to visit, you have to be first a great place to live, work, and play. So everything in commercial development, everything in community planning, everything in destination development, that's what makes it a great destination for visitors. And that's why all these other partnerships and the things you're so focused on and your core audience, that's why we're so special, is because we've invested and we're mindful of creating an ecosystem where, because what visitors want to experience is the cool thing that we experience,
Totally.
right? And when we all start discovering Allapattah, the visitors will follow,
Yeah.
Yep.
just like Wynwood and
Yep.
Coconut Grove. And
Little Havana.
The locals are the ones that drive the coolness, I feel like, right?
so it goes hand in glove. So thanks
Yeah.
for the time, guys.
Maybe GMCVB should sponsor. We need like another television show. Miami Vice put us on the map. We need like a round 2 here. Because I remember growing up and watching Saved by the Bell, and California was like, I got to get out to where Screech lives
Yeah.
and get that vibe. I feel like we're there.
We'll get some venture capitalists together and
All
call
right.
me.
I'll give you a ring.
All right,
David, thanks for joining
Yeah,
us.
this
Guys,
is
thank
awesome,
you.
man. Seriously.
Appreciate you much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Have a great weekend.
GMCVB.
Love it.
Nailed it.
.com, right?